forgiveness. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evil of ourselves and wickedness of our deeds. Verily, whomever Allah guides, there is none taken astray. And whomever Allah allows to stray, there is none to guide from that. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is his messenger. Last week we discussed the causes and preventions of divorce. And we discussed how Islamic teaching showed us the ways to remedy the mistakes that husbands and wives fall into, like criticizing each other and not overlooking each other's flaws. We discussed the remedies like ignoring and overlooking each other's mistakes and stop criticizing and reproaching each other for everything, and to emphasize on the good characteristics of each other and lessen the importance of bad ones. Today, inshallah, we will continue to discuss another cause for divorce, which is the unrealistic expectations of love, such that they expect that their marriage will be a love fantasy and they will live happily ever after with no problems. So the wife is not satisfied unless the husband loves her like Qais loved Layla. Or the husband is not pleased unless his wife loves him like Juliet loved Romeo. Many people talk about love while confusing it with lust and desires. And they use it as a pretext to break marriages or to have extramarital affairs. So a woman will have an affair because she felt out of love with her husband. Or a man will have an affair because he stopped loving his wife, both without feeling remorse or the gravity of the sin that they have committed. In addition, they destroyed their marriage because of ever-changing emotions and because of primal desires. Islam teaches that marriage develops bonds that are much greater than the love that poets and the culture keep on singing about. Islamic view of marriage is a tranquil, peaceful, and secure relationship, and describes the relationship between husbands and wives that was based on proper foundations as affection, kindness, mercy, and companionship. Dear brothers and sisters, to prevent the marriage from becoming like a feather blowing in the wind when feelings keep on changing, and to strengthen the marriage so it will not break the first dispute or foolish thoughts, Allah revealed in Surah An-Nisa, verse 19, and live with them in kindness. If you dislike them, it may be that you dislike a thing, and Allah brings through it a great deal of good. So Allah ordered men to be gentle in their actions and sayings, and to look nice for their wives as they expect them to look nice for their husbands, and for the wives to treat the husbands the same way. Allah revealed in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 228, and women have rights over their husbands similar to those of their husbands over them in kindness. Allah also asked men to be patient and kind to wives and promised them to be rewarded for their patience. Imam Shafi'i commented on verse 19 of Surah An-Nisa, saying that Allah permitted husbands to live with their wives in kindness while disliking them. Allah gave the reason that there could be a great deal of good in this dislike. The good comes from the reward of being patient and fulfilling her rights even with the dislike. And the husband will eventually be pleased with her piety or manners or devotion to a point that the feelings of dislike towards her might transform to affection and love. So religious teachings indicate that a lasting marriage does not depend on ever-changing emotions and feelings, but a good marriage lasts because of blessings and rewards from Allah. This was what early Muslims practiced, as was demonstrated when a man came to Umar ibn Khattab telling him that he wants to divorce his wife because he does not love her anymore. So Umar told him, do you think that marriages are only built on love? How about virility, caring, and kindness? So a disillusioned man can become a source of misery to his family. That leads to breaking up the family instead of being responsible and taking care of his family. Also, Omar indicated that many families that lasted were built on affection, caring, respect, and caring for the children that are the fruits of the marriage. Dear brothers and sisters, there are many examples of families that were built on these principles. In a hadith, Laqit ibn Sabra came to the Prophet ﷺ. Laqit ibn Sabra came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, my wife has a foul mouth. So the Prophet said, then divorce her. Laqit said, I have children from her and one companionship. The Prophet ﷺ said, then advise her. And if she has good in her, she will listen. And be gentle with her and do not treat her like a slave. So the Prophet ﷺ said, the Prophet ﷺ is in this case advising the man to divorce his foul-mouthed wife if he lost his patience with her. But because of the husband's old companionship with his wife and the children that they have, the Prophet ﷺ told him to advise her nicely. With prophetic advice that he told the husband to deliver the advice from the Prophet to her, and that if she is a good person, she will heed. And then he advised the husband to be gentle and not to harm his wife. Dear brothers and sisters, another remedy for this issue is to sweet talk each other, even if it leads to overstating emotions. Islamic teachings allows the husband to exaggerate his feelings towards his wife, or vice versa, or for the wife to exaggerate her feelings towards the husband, to maintain their companionship and affection, and to maintain the cohesion of the family. In a hadith that was authenticated by Muslim and Abu Dawud, on the authority of Kulthum, daughter of Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayyid. And she was amongst the first immigrants who pledged allegiance to the Prophet. She said that she heard the Prophet ﷺ say, a liar is not the one who tries to bring reconciliation among people by conveying and speaking good in order to avert dispute. She also said she did not hear the Prophet ﷺ granting exemption in anything of what people speak as lie except in three cases: in battle, and for bringing reconciliation among people, and the talk of the husband to his wife, and the talk of the wife to her husband, saying things to each other to reconcile and maintain their marriage. Al-Bukhari narrated that Ibn Abi Azra al-Du'ali said to his wife, I ask you by Allah, do you dislike me? She said, do not ask me by Allah. So he insisted. So she said, by Allah, I dislike you. So he went complaining to Umar. So Umar asked her to come to him and asked her, what made you say that to him? She said, he asked me by Allah, and I did not want to lie. Umar told her, there is nothing wrong if a woman lies in this case and exaggerates her feelings. Not all homes are built on love. Some are built on companionship and family and on faith. So Umar illustrated that strong faith and family cohesion lifts up the souls and changes priorities and elevates humans above their primal instincts. So for marriages to last, husbands and wives need to get themselves used and trained to loving each other until it becomes a habit. As Ulayya bint al-Mahdi al-Abbasi said, train yourself to love because love brings love. And through our lives, we have witnessed witnessed many righteous men and women that did not have absolute love for their spouses, but their marriage lasted and was full with good manners and affection, kindness and mercy. So these are the examples that we need to follow in our marriages, so our marriages can last and will be filled with kindness and affection.